I'm Haley. Welcome to the whole podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hey everyone, this is part 2 of a great conversation. If you haven't seen the part 1 of this, go ahead and take a look at that and then join us for part 2.
Getting Social is where the fun shows up once a month and community takes center stage. Getting Social is a peer support group at the Whole Person, meeting the first Friday of every month from 1 to 3 p.m. in the community room. This group is designed for all people with disabilities, PCAs, family, friends, and service providers. This is your opportunity to talk, laugh, and actually connect. Every month has a new, exciting, and educational theme, from arts and crafts to meeting Casey's biggest advocates for disabilities. Can't make it in person? You can join the Getting Social peer support group virtually. Need a ride? Transportation may be available within 5 miles with advance notice. Just a place where you can show up and be part of something real. To learn more about our next Getting Social, visit thewholeperson.org. We hope to see you there. But for now, enjoy the rest of the show.
Hi everyone, we are back from our break. We have the best conversations when we're on break. I wish we could include all of it. It would be so funny.
The 4-hour-long
Oh
version.
my gosh. It'd be worth it though. It'd be worth it because this is great. I love this. So we're gonna jump back into some questions if that's okay. We have some really good questions that we wanted to specifically hear more about from you. So one of the questions, and forgive me, I'm gonna step away and look at this real quick.
Do it.
Okay. Okay. In your advocacy work, what is one misconception that you want to see dismantled right now?
Yeah, man. I mean, several. I think one that I feel really passionate about though is this notion of like special needs, or like that somehow the needs that disabled folks or the dependencies that disabled folks have are somehow like categorically fundamentally different than the dependencies that uh everyone else has. I think like there's a sort of double standard, or like an erasure in how we look at independence and dependence. So there's sort of a story around disability that that the tools or the accommodations or the supports that we need are somehow like quote unquote extra or extraordinary, when I think that like dependence is something that's built into human life, especially in the world that we live in right now. Like it's very frustrating to me that we think about like the fact that we live in a world where like most of us are not farming our own food,
Right?
and we are depend on restaurants and grocery stores to arrange and package that food and people to deliver that food to us. But somehow if we need help to eat that food, it crosses some sort of line, and that's like a different kind of need or dependence. And so I find that really frustrating. I think that that impacts the way that a lot of the world is shaped, and it impacts, I think, about um, things around like policy and how we think about funding for some of these other needs that we have as human beings. And I think that like all of us deserve to be supported and have our needs met. And it's frustrating to me that that is like categorized differently, or that some of those um, dependencies that we have or supports that we require are categorized differently than others. And I think of that on like a broad scale in terms of like um, how policy is shaped, or culturally how we think about it. But I also think about it like individually and personally, that I think as someone who has had a disability most of her life, there are a certain amount of shame that I have around needing something. I've definitely carried a lot of shame and requiring an extra support or accommodation,
Same.
and to be able to say like, that's like human need, like that we all require different kinds of supports, and the world has been built and arranged around a certain set of them. And that doesn't mean that somehow there's like failing in needing something extra. You think about, I write about this a little bit in the book, but you think about just the fact that we've built our world around stairs and doorknobs, and
Mhm.
like we built the world to accommodate a specific kind of body and mind.
Yes.
And when we're outside of that, it's just somehow there's like this arbitrary line that gets crossed. That's very frustrating to me in many scales.
Yes.
So if that makes sense, I think that that is threading the needle of one thing that I wish that we could just agree on right now. Humans have needs.
Yeah. It's not shameful. Yeah, no, I deal with the same thing a lot, especially when it comes to like transportation.
Mm,
I don't want to be a burden to my family or my
yeah.
friends. And so, like, for years and years and years, my family is like, what's the best route to get Haley on the way to celebrate grandma's birthday? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you got to pick up grandma, and it's just like,
Yeah.
these are such normal things for my family that I don't think about it a whole lot anymore because it's just so ingrained. Like, what's the most direct route to do this? And so that's how I think about it when I'm with my friends, or if somebody wants to go somewhere for work, I'm like, oh, what's the best way to do this? I don't want to inconvenience anyone. I
Yeah.
don't want to be a burden. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not a burden.
Yeah. Yeah. That word, I mean, that feels so personal. Like I feel such a personal connection to that word being a burden because I think that was like my worst fear from the time I was a tiny, tiny kid and didn't realize that that was something that anybody else ever thought about ever.
Hmm.
But I think that there is something when exist outside of the default and you're trying to keep up in a system that was not built or designed around you, where that seems to be like an instinctive or natural or like human response
Hmm.
to feel that way. It feels common at least. Um, and to reframe that is difficult and I think really important in micro and macro scale.
Yes. Because even today, like, there are people in family situations that feel like a burden because at the end of the day, you should be comfortable enough to be like, I'm exhausted. I need help with something that I
Yeah.
do normally for myself, but I know that I'm safe. But there's still that level of, I don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
And then your family sometimes doesn't always understand.
Yeah.
So I've seen that a lot in the disability
Yes.
community.
Yes. It's not something that we're imagining or making up. It makes sense that we would feel that way. And also, I would just like to like wholesale reframe the whole thing
Yes.
for all of us.
Yeah. Just cut it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humans
100%.
have needs.
Mm,
Humans need support, and all of us do. And we kind of have erased, or it's like we've made invisible all of the needs that are being met because of the way that the world is designed.
yes.
We like don't acknowledge that that is like an accommodation.
Yes.
Those stairs are an accommodation for you. They
Mhm.
don't work for me.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, we were talking about the ADA, the No Pity. I can't remember the full title. It's a really long book,
Oh,
title.
yeah.
Um, but I was gonna suggest it to you.
Yes, I think I have it on my
Yeah,
shelf.
yeah. I listened to it on audio,
Oh, did you?
and I have to re-listen to it because it's so much. Um
Maybe I didn't listen to it on audio because I mean, maybe I don't. Sorry, this is like a whole detour.
No,
But
go for it.
I think that I have that book, but I looked for it on audio because I love listening to
Yeah,
audiobooks
yes.
and I couldn't find it. So I went we Andrew's looking to tell us if we
I love that so
is
much.
it like a lot of history? Is it
Yes.
looking yes.
Yes, and it really opened my eyes to, like, the terminology because, again, I'm still learning all the terminology, and I will forever learn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it talks about, and it reminded me of the stair crawl, I think is what they called it, to show people, like, this state building is not
The
accessible or
Capitol
whatever.
crawl?
Yeah. What is it?
The Capitol crawl?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 and
Yeah.
that took a lot of courage to do that.
Yeah. The Capitol crawl was leading up to the ADA
Yes.
that they were like trying to push, I think, the Senate to actually officially
Yes.
sign. And it's so brilliant. I love I love the way in the history of disability activism, the way that disability activists and advocates like really use like imagery and spectacle to their
Mhm,
advantage,
mhm.
because there is something really disconcerting watching
Yes,
these people drag their bodies up
yes.
the Capitol steps, right?
And the amount of strength and all the things.
Yeah, but like the image of that, I think most people looking at that are like, oh, this is wrong.
This is uncomfortable.
And it's like, yes, it is.
Mhm.
You're exactly right. This
This is
is,
what we're talking
yes.
about.
And let us demonstrate for you what it would look like for us to, in that case, try to access the hub of government
Oh,
for our
yeah.
country.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like an 8-year-old girl who was a part of it. I'm blanking on her name.
Mhm, mhm,
But she was like the face of a lot of that. Like, look at this little girl trying to carve out
mhm,
a space,
mhm.
um, you know,
Yeah.
to grow up in a world where we can get inside
A
a
building
building. Yeah.
by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this, I watch a lot of reels on Facebook, don't judge. And a lot of them are about disabilities.
Yeah.
And it just, another example of it is this individual is going to school and she has something where her left arm or right arm, it just doesn't work. Like she can't lift anything, she can't open doors. And so the school is making a lot of accommodations for her, like more accessibility in her apartment, and some of the doors don't open
Mhm.
with the button, and so they're fixing all of those, and it's quite interesting to see her journey through that.
Well, and you know what's interesting when you start thinking about accommodations and like carving out like the doors
Hmm.
that would be open is like a lot of times I think we do think about and hopefully this is changing, but we think about accommodations as being like an accommodation for one single individual to make this work for
Yes.
you, when really I think that moment of disruption when that one person shows up and reveals to us like, oh, these doors don't work for
Yes.
everyone, that I mean it can feel like being a burden,
Yes.
but I guess the other way of thinking of that is like calling attention to and being the disruptor
Yes.
to prompt a greater change.
Yes.
I think one of the things that has been the most helpful for me, like the reframe that has been the most helpful for me in like self advocacy,
Hmm.
is I don't know if it's like growing up as a Midwesterner or what, but the idea that you would ask for anything and be an inconvenience to anyone
Hmm.
is like excruciating,
It
right?
is.
Like I would much rather make myself smaller, go with the flow,
Yep.
and be harmed in the process than ask you to
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
But one of the reframes that has helped me a lot is thinking about how anytime I can ask for an accommodation or call attention to inaccessibility is for like everyone else coming up behind me and everybody else here who would still benefit from it,
Hmm.
even if they are able to make it work as it is, but would benefit from a change. Like I think as much as we can be that disruption to call attention to that, it's not just like helping that one
Yes.
person or that one kid in the school, but like this is about something bigger and broader, and we should be looking for ways to redesign to include more of us. Um, Everywhere, all the
Yes.
time. Like, this is how we should
Yes.
be building.
Yes.
Yeah.
There, okay, couple things I want to tell you before I forget. Okay, there's a book and I will find the name for it and we will share it on the screen for everyone else later. One of the people we interviewed on our podcast was telling me about this book. It's um looking at the whole of a situation and filtering it down, and it helps everybody else in the community.
Mm.
So from like an engineer kind of
Yeah.
point of view.
Yeah.
So he was telling me about this book and I meant to read it and I slipped my mind. So now I'm going to read it. So I will share that with you because I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what you're describing. It's
Yeah.
going to help other people.
Yeah.
And two, some of the things that we do here at the Whole Person are just, it's surprising how much it helps everybody in the community.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't have any of my business cards, but how do you hand a business card to a blind person? You don't. And
Mm.
so we put scan codes on it that
Yes.
are tactile.
Yeah.
So I can say, do you feel the scan on the bottom right? And most of the people can take their phone out and scan it or have somebody else help them with it. And
Yeah.
so they don't have to program in my information. And so we implemented that on all of the business cards and it helps the community now.
Yes.
And you and I were
Yes.
talking about the layout of the carpets and all the colors that are the same on every
Mhm.
floor. That helps everybody, not just the blind community.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, we have similar colors for, or not similar, exact colors on every floor. So bathrooms are light blue, and we have different markings on the carpet that signify like barriers, and all of those colors are the same on every floor so that it kind of helps you navigate through the building a little bit easier. And I was explaining to you earlier that when I was first here, I didn't know a soul, I didn't know anybody, I didn't know how I wanted to be like, vocal about my disability. And that helped me feel real comfortable. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have to ask everybody every time at a new place, like, where's the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, it's like we're getting at universal design
yes.
essentially. Yes. And I mean, I think another thing that's interesting about disability is that it is a group that anyone can join at any time, and most of us will,
Mhm.
without question, if we live long enough. And so the idea that, like, I don't understand why we are not just building with disability in mind everywhere from the beginning all the time, because this is all of us.
Yes.
Like, all of us will benefit from this. This is I don't not that you have to be in the majority um in order to be accommodated, but the idea that, like, we would build the world for a group, for like such a narrow subset of people and type of person that none of us will maintain forever is odd to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why we've done that or why we continue to do that. But my book recommendation to you, and I
Yes.
I don't know if this is similar to the similar or even the same that you were mentioning before, but in terms of talking about engineering and building,
Mhm.
What Can a Body Do by Sarah Hendren
Okay.
is like an fascinating read about design and
Okay.
building the world and the relationship between bodies and minds in our environments.
Okay.
And I think anyone who reads that book, by the end, you're like, all right, we have got to do this differently from the ground up, moving forward. Nothing that we build from here on out can be only for this narrow subset of
Right.
people.
Yes. Okay, I will look into that and see
Yes,
if it's
we'll
accessible.
do swap books.
Yes, yes, I love this. I think it's different than the book I'm thinking of, but for the life of me, I cannot remember the name, and I will get that to you
Yes.
and to everyone else. So, um,
What
okay.
Can a Body Do is so good. That is like one of my all-time
I'm
favorite.
excited to see this for
Yes.
sure. And for those who don't know, I also want to share a resource. The KU Center. Oh shoot, what is it called? Audio Reader through KU. Okay, they will also help make books accessible if they are not already on audio.
Oh,
Um,
how do you access it? What do you
you
do?
just go to the website, you just type in audio reader and you speak to Martha. And they have volunteers who will read a book if it's not accessible and help you make that accessible and then provide it to you.
That's
So
awesome. And then does that recording become more widely available for
it can.
okay,
Hmm.
because that would be so efficient.
Hmm.
Like, what a great way to make those books more accessible to
Yes.
more people.
Yes. So for those who can't find it on the Bard or Libby, because sometimes they're not on the
Mhm.
library stuff, you
Mhm.
know, so yeah, good times, good times. Okay, so oh gosh, we could have so many conversations, I feel like, about all of this, but I do want to finish some of the questions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me look here. We were talking about one of the things that you talk about when you do presentations is a story about your friends helping you with stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the burden conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that a little more?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think
We've kind
I
of talked about.
yeah, no, no, no. I love it. I'm kind of thinking about the way I can't remember if we were recording when we were
I
talking
know,
about
I'm
this
so
before or not.
confused now.
But we were talking about your time with friends
Yes.
and like the friends that will pull you out and
Yep.
like the comfort of being with people who know what you need, who won't overstep, like
Yep.
that is a really special relationship. And so
It is.
yeah, and thinking about that for me of what that looks like, what it looks like to be in friendships where um people where you have friends that like empower you or treat you like a whole
A whole person.
like Rebecca, not just this
Yeah.
anxious thing we have to work around. So yeah, I tell a story a lot about a couple of these were new friends at the time, but maybe not surprising anyone, they're still really good friends of mine. But when I was starting out in graduate school and like hanging out with new people and trying to figure out who my friends would be, um, I went to hang out at a friend's apartment, and she lived on the third floor of her apartment
Oh.
building, which I knew, right? And that's not unusual. And most of the apartment buildings in Kansas, this was in Lawrence, Kansas, are like not accessible. So
Mhm.
and that's my whole life. I'm used to that. And so my friends carried me in my wheelchair up and down those 3 flights of stairs that night. And it was really embarrassing to me in a way that wasn't unfamiliar at the time, right? We're talking about like feeling like a burden and
Mhm.
like, I mean, like what a hassle. And also, like, there's the intimacy of it that is
Yes.
like, I don't know you very well, but now we're like basically making out
Yep.
We're halfway there,
Yep.
and here we go. Like
Yep.
there's just a lot of um,
Discomfort.
discomfort.
Like, did I
Yes.
shower today? Did I put on
Yeah,
deodorant? Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
no.
My breath. What did I
Yeah,
eat?
did I brush my teeth?
Yeah, and like, and then how do you feel about this?
Yes.
I do this all the time, but I don't think you probably do. And how
Right.
do you feel about this? And are you just like, I don't, like
Yeah.
thinking twice before asking me to hang out again?
Yep.
So all of that, like, weird social dynamic,
Yes.
and feeling really embarrassed and feeling like the burden, and thinking, which is not uncommon, and especially at the time wasn't uncommon, where I was just thinking like, I'm just gonna say no next time, and I'm just gonna stay
Yep.
home and spare everyone
Yep.
this.
Yep. I
So
do that.
the thing at the end of that night that has always stuck with me, is that my friend was driving me home after all of that, and I just apologized to him for uh for the night and having to carry me up and down the stairs. And he didn't miss a beat. He was just like, well, and I'll pause here to say there is a common response, and I wonder if you ever feel this way or have experienced this. But I am used to people being really dismissive of that. I think in the attempt to make me feel better, it's like, oh, it wasn't a big deal.
Mhm.
No big deal. It didn't matter. And I think for me, that's always a little bit hard because, um, it, like I was there for it. It was very inconvenient.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
was kind of disruptor of the whole night. Like, and they were out of breath, and I think they were sweating. So like that was not nothing, right? Like I was there. I saw it. So like to say that was nothing is like, okay, but now you're just lying to me.
Yeah.
So what he said was like, well, that apartment building wasn't accessible, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that apartment building should be accessible,
Yeah.
and I really appreciated that, and it was a pretty pivotal shifting moment for me because, I've had a million moments like that across the span of my lifetime, and I've always internalized that as, like, I am the problem here. I'm the problem in the
Mhm.
room, and
Mhm.
the pivot of that was, like, I'm not gonna pretend like there isn't a problem, but I would like to insist that you are not the
Yeah.
problem. And that was, a really, really transformative, moment for me to get to feel that and experience that with my
Mhm.
friends, and to feel like they had a clarity of that situation as well. I don't know, it might be similar to the vibe of when people are like, "Well, I don't think of you as disabled," or "I don't,
Mm.
notice your disability," which is like, "Okay, I think I know what you're trying to say. You're
Mhm.
trying to say that I'm a person to you,
Yeah.
but also this is a big part of my life, and, like, I'm like, every time I go hang out with you, I'm thinking about it, like, if I'm gonna meet you at a new restaurant, I'm Googling it, trying to find if they have accessible
Yes.
bathrooms. And so I think for me, I think maybe if I'm trying to get at what it feels like to be in a like, to have the comfort of a friend who really does see the whole totality
Mhm.
of me, it is someone who can hold on to both of those things and recognize to really, I don't know, is it like slipping into the world from my perspective just a little bit and being able to see, um, yes, you as a whole, Rebecca, who's not only thinking about disability, but also is thinking about disability a fair amount of the time, especially in these circumstances,
Mhm.
especially when we're going to a new restaurant, especially, like if your pain is high that day or whatever the thing is.
Mhm.
I love a friend who, before going over to their house for the first time, will like take pictures of the steps going into their house or the
Yes.
bathroom setup. It's like,
Yes.
thank you. Because I was wondering and feeling anxious about how I was going to do this or that. And
Mhm.
now you've helped me know. I think sometimes people feel like bad if their house isn't perfectly accessible. They almost feel like guilty. And it's like,
There's nothing.
listen,
Yeah.
my house is barely accessible. So like I don't know how yours would be, but just sort of like I don't know, like equipping you to know what's coming
Mhm.
and to be able to anticipate and strategize and plan ahead
Yes.
and can be on that with you. So
Yeah. Get rid of all the anxiety that comes with it. Maybe not
yeah.
all of it, but a good
Yeah.
majority.
So that you can be prepared.
Yeah.
Is that how it is with your friends? Like how does that compare to your
Yes. because I've been so open and willing to share about my disability,
Yeah.
my friends have started now to anticipate it. And oh, Haley might struggle with this. I'm gonna help her with this, and they know when to help and when not to help, and not all the time, but majority of the time. And sometimes they'll be like, "No, I'm okay. I'm at the end of my battery, but I still need to push through this for myself. Let me."
Yeah.
And so yeah, they'll help a lot with that, or they'll send me the menu to the restaurant we're going,
Yeah.
so I don't have to search it all and maybe mistake the restaurant for something else. And so yeah, I really appreciate that they're thinking about it from this viewpoint. And a lot of the people that I am around also have disabilities. And
Mhm.
so I am trying to be mindful about what they're also going through, because it's not about just my disability.
Yeah.
And so I try to make sure that I'm being there for them as much as they are for me. And I think that's why the friendships work so well. I didn't have that all the
Yeah.
time, because in high school, I how do you explain, like, I can't see your face, and
Yeah.
I was reading books, so close up to my face, and people would come up and, like, push my head, and I knew they were trying to be funny, and I get that, but, like, I was trying to focus, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So
Oh, okay, that makes me think of 2 things.
okay.
One is we gotta get the right friends.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, and I think so much of that, I mean, yeah, not to say that, like, the right friends have to be also disabled friends, but, I
Yeah.
mean, there is something very special about being among
Yes.
people who know what it feels like to move through the world,
Yes.
in this way, and I know that that was, like, having real friendships with people who also have disabilities was huge for me.
Mhm.
But the other thing that I was thinking as you were talking, in around this word burden,
Yeah.
is like it is interesting how both of us share this feeling of being a burden.
Mhm.
But as you were describing it, it was almost like the environment around us as being the burden, and the friends are the ones who will take on a little bit of that burden with us.
Yes.
Which is such a different way. It's like it's interesting that it's a similar feeling, but it's a shift in focus.
Mhm.
And then the friend is the one who's like, you don't have to be the only one taking that on.
Yes. And that's
Um,
exactly how it is.
yeah.
And it has made me grow as a person, and I'm getting better about being uncomfortable going to new places, because there's just a lot of scary things.
Yeah.
And I always joke with everyone, like, if you see me running into a wall, just let me go, because I need to learn, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just having friends who will laugh with you when
Yeah.
you fall over,
Oh my gosh. Yes.
or, yeah.
The comfort, yes, of like we don't have to be just like um yeah, the reaction to the moments of falling, or for you, I guess, like running into the wall. Mine's falling.
Yes.
Like I fall a lot, and one of my friends that was in the stair story was also like we were like downtown Mass, in Lawrence, Kansas, like on Massachusetts Street, and I was like crossing that busy
Yeah,
street
yeah.
and like completely flipped out of my chair in the middle of the road. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm pretty mortified.
Yep.
Yeah, having a friend that's not going to freak out
Yes.
and maybe laugh with you,
Yes.
and also recognize your badassery. Oh, I
Oh,
don't know.
no, you're
Okay,
good.
okay.
You're good.
Like like to like see you in that moment,
Yes.
and recognize the strength of the person that falls and gets up, or
Yep.
runs into the wall and keeps going and
Yep.
is going to keep showing up. Like,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good friend.
Keep showing up is important.
Yeah.
It reminds me of we were at a bar, the friends that I was talking to, and we were just celebrating or something. I don't even remember. But I was all dressed up and I was wearing heels, which I don't ever do, because, like, walking in heels when you can't see, not always the best combo, right?
I
Okay.
wouldn't know, but I believe you.
Yes, yes. It's hard,
Yeah.
and it affects your whole skeleton,
Yeah.
and it's not easy. So I was like, okay, I usually wear, like, some sort of boots that are, like, on my ankle. And so I was walking, and we were at the bar, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get this for my friend, I'm gonna be independent." And I fell.
Oh
I
no.
hopped off this tall chair and I fell, and I was wearing a dress, and I was like, "Oh, this is definitely not ladylike." I was like, "My mom is never gonna know this story, and now she will. Sorry, mom." But you know what I mean? Like, I was
Yeah.
I was mortified, and my friends just sat there and they looked at me and they're like, "Are you gonna get up?" And like all the other people in the bar were like, because I was using my cane, and
Mhm.
everybody in the they were
Yes.
like, "Are you guys gonna help her?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Thank you."
Yes,
But then,
the dignity of
yes.
that.
But then my friend came over after I stood up and like, gathered my courage again, and she's like, "Come on." And I'm like, "Okay." And I was
Yes.
like, "Thank you."
As opposed to like fragile baby.
Yes.
You must need me to cradle
Yes.
you
Let
and
me help you.
yes,
And
yes.
yeah, no, none of that. And I was thankful for it then. And I'm still thankful now because they taught society that, it's going to happen.
Oh my gosh, I just thought of I just had an image of, this is a really embarrassing story, but,
Love it.
because a lot of it for me, I mean, I think most of my life before adulthood and, like, finding the kinds of friends we're
Hmm.
talking about, um, was my siblings.
Yes.
Because my siblings never treated me like poor baby. They
Yes.
were like, "Stop talking like a baby."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and we would, like, pull I think we thought it was so funny to they would, like, tip me over in my wheelchair, like, at the grocery store and then, leave me, and they thought it was so funny to watch people,
Yes.
like I mean, I and it was they I was in on it. It
Yeah.
was like we were pranking
Social
everyone,
experience.
like, "Look at this helpless girl. What are you gonna
Hmm.
do?" And we were like, "Joke's on you."
Yep.
I mean, that is definitely, I feel like, the vibe of, lifetime of disability and people who are in on that,
Hmm.
experience is, like, being very aware of the default reaction to this moment and us knowing that's not what's happening.
Yes.
Um,
100%.
yeah.
Social
I don't think we
experiments.
probably should have done that, but, uh,
Might as well.
yeah.
Because the society as a whole needs to understand a little bit more about
Mhm.
the disability world. So,
Yeah. I don't know what they learned. I don't know what the takeaway was.
well, okay. The takeaway could be that you don't have to help every time
Yeah.
somebody is struggling, like falling out of a chair
Yeah.
or falling off of a chair.
Yeah.
You know,
If that's what they took, I don't
maybe
really remember. It was the '80s, which was a different time
that
in
is
many ways.
fair. That is fair.
But I think theoretically, yes, I think the idea that like I do think I mean there's a whole chapter in my book about
Yes.
the complications of kindness and I think the narrative that as soon as you see a person with a disability struggling with anything or what looks like struggling to you that you must go in and save them
Yes.
is a very ingrained script
Yes.
that is not just annoying it is but it's also harmful because when you rush it, when the default assumption is to assume that someone is helpless and needs you to save them, then you're not trusting them to be parents or you're not electing them to
Hmm.
be your leaders, you're not trusting them to be your boss, you're not, you know, like
All the things.
there's a much deeper consequence of that script of helplessness that yes is annoying when every time you're in a parking lot and someone rushes to
Hmm.
help you with something that they don't know how to do and you do.
Yes.
But also, I think the consequences of that, the roots sprout into something that grows much further than that.
I agree. And even in the world of disability, I feel like other people with disabilities will come up and be like, "Do you need help?" And I'll be more accepting of them offering
Yeah.
the help and be like, "No, I'm good, thanks." And they'll walk away and be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But it's still that I'm gonna go over and see if I can help. And I find myself like, should I? Should I not?
Yeah.
And it's a hard situation.
It totally is. And I would never want to like minimize that each and like every individual moment could be a case by case. I
Yeah.
think I don't think that if we're getting into the complications of kindness,
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with saying, "Do you need help?" to someone.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes I do wish that people would wait like 3 seconds before they ask because I feel like if you watched me, you'd know
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the question.
No.
But if someone says they don't need help
Let it.
and you insist on helping anyways, that's the line that feels
Yes.
like it's never okay. Which
I agree.
do you have that? Do people do that with you?
Sometimes, but here's the thing. The difference here is that your disability is visible and
That's
mine
right.
isn't to a degree. Like sometimes people can tell just by me looking at my phone, for example. So sometimes I don't use my cane because I don't want to deal with all of that "Oh, you're doing great. You're such a strong," you're
Yeah.
I don't know the words I'm thinking, but you know what I mean, like, we're
Inspiration.
yes, thank you, and it's I don't wanna deal with that,
Yeah.
but my cane helps me, and I need to be more proactive with using it, not just here and there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that is an interesting piece of it. And actually when I wrote the chapter in the book about the complications of kindness, I didn't realize how rooted I was in the perspective of someone who has a physical visible or like a visible disability or a quickly apparent
mhm,
disability,
mhm,
immediately apparent disability. Um I think that I theoretically I thought I was thinking of other perspectives, but over time, especially in conversations like this, I have realized that the experience of kindness, this I'm putting air quotes around the word kindness because of the kind of kindness we're talking about here. These like, do you need help? Let me help you.
mhm,
Overstepping assistance.
mhm,
Um, is that experience I think can in some ways be almost opposite for people who have non-apparent disabilities. What I've heard from people, so if I move through the world and I'm like a magnet for people to rush to like dive in front of
mhm,
doors to open them for me and stuff,
mhm,
then people with non-apparent disabilities, it seems like a lot of times it's the opposite problem, which is like, I actually need help, please believe
mhm,
me. And
100%.
both of those things are like defining parts of an experience that are worth our attention. And in some ways, I think they're two sides of the same coin, which is just about like trusting people and believing
Mhm,
people.
mhm.
But that is a good point that that is different.
Yeah, when I find myself in the grocery store or like, separating from family, friends or something, I'll use my cane because I found that when I don't, I'm just that creepy person who's like, just trying to read the labels, but yet it comes across just kind of creepy, I
Yeah.
guess. And not like that anyone has said that to me, but I've observed it with other people who deal with a similar vision impairment.
Hmm.
And it's very frustrating. And it's also frustrating that people don't believe us when we say that we can't see. And so that's why I use my cane in those situations or like at McDonald's or where they have the menus up tall. I'm like, "Look, I can't see this and I'm not gonna pretend to see it, but I'm using my cane." And so then they believe me.
Yeah.
I don't think that they mean to not believe me. There are some, but I don't think the majority of people think that way. It doesn't, they've never run across this situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's assumptions. It's assumptions
Mhm.
that we make about people, and I
Yes.
understand that humans are always looking for patterns, and
Yes.
I understand how it happens, and
Yes.
also when you don't match a pattern, when you're, like, outside of the pattern that
Mhm.
people are used to, it's like a whole vibe your whole life
Yes.
every day
Yes.
to have to be like, "No, but let me tell you,
Yes.
actually, this is not what you think it is, or I am not what you are assuming based on what you just saw in the last 3 seconds."
Yes. And when people tell me like they struggle in social settings and like how do you navigate through the grocery store? I'm like, use your cane.
Yeah.
Like I just helped a person. They were like, I wish there was a banner that said I have a visual disability. And I was like, there is. It's your cane. And it's because using a cane separates us from being invisible disability to a visible disability. And people don't always know how to react. One of the things I've observed and learned ever since I was 17 with my disability is that, shoot, I've lost my train of thought. Please remind me because I'm nervous now.
No, well, as you're talking, I'm just thinking how interesting it is to think of the cane as a tool in more than one way.
Yes.
It's a tool for navigating. It's also a social tool.
Yeah. Um, it's a banner for exactly that.
Yeah.
And so when people struggle with the use of their cane, I'm like, please use it. I know it's going to separate you, but it's a tool for you as
Yeah.
well. And so people are just so hesitant to use the cane, and I do it too. But
Well,
ultimately helps.
people are hesitant to use wheelchairs as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of baggage that we have as humans around like there it seems like the threshold there's like a threshold, and that like if I reach for this tool, if I reach for a
Mhm.
cane, if I use this wheelchair, there's like a much larger implication
Yes.
that comes with a whole weighty baggage story.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah, and can actually do harm to
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Can actually harm you in the long run. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm thinking of I'm thinking about how we were talking about how most of us acquire disabilities over time.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about um I'm thinking about specifically, this is one moment I'm thinking about, but I've had lots of moments like this where I will be like an older person who's clearly struggling to walk,
Mhm.
um, and is moving very slowly, and I'm perceiving them to be in pain,
Mhm.
and I will watch them watch me
Mhm.
in my wheelchair, and it's always an interesting moment for me. And I don't want to belittle what how hard it could be to use a mobility aid, and I realize that's a complicated decision. But there's a part of me that always wants to be like, it's okay to
Yes.
use it. It's
Same.
okay to use the tool.
Same.
Let's make your life simpler. Let's create a
Yes.
little more ease for you.
Yes. When I have started using my cane, the social concerns, the stress of it all melts away,
Mhm.
and it has helped me a lot. And one of the clients I was working with, and I still talk to her to this day, she followed me and she calls me to check in, and it is so adorable.
Oh.
But she is older. She struggles with a lot of pain. She has a lot of medical, and she absolutely refused to accept the training like in her home because she's been doing it for so long. She's like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "But there are things that I know can help it make easier." She started doing it, like, for example, using an air fryer.
Mhm.
Best thing ever for her. She loves it now. But when I tried to talk to her about using a cane,
Mm.
she was so adamant against it. And
Mhm.
then one day I was like, just carry it with you when nobody's around and just start walking around. You have the training. And she was at the mall and they had like the glass doors, which are really hard to tell if they're open or not, right?
Mhm.
And she started using her cane, and this lady opened up the store a little bit earlier for her because she knew that the individual was dealing with a vision impairment. And she's like, I felt like a queen. And I was like, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
she laughs so hard at the memory of that and me telling her to use her cane.
Yeah, I think it's complicated.
It
I
is.
mean, I really, as someone who has used this wheelchair since I was a child, I really don't want to minimize
Right.
like what that means and what that decision, like what goes into that
Yeah.
decision. I really don't. But I also, I mean, it's like, so much of it does feel like it comes back to like our sense of self and our identity and how we see ourselves.
Mhm.
and and a really deeply rooted um ableism in our culture,
Mhm.
that looks at any threshold crossing into the land of disability as failure or a threat
Yes.
or the end of self. And I do understand that that can be incredibly disruptive and disorienting. And also, I wish to make that easier for people too.
Same.
um because
Mhm.
look,
It helps.
yeah, it
It
can help.
helps.
It can help.
Yeah.
There can be ease on the other side of that. There can be a
Mhm.
little bit of freedom on the other side of that.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people in the disability world is like the social settings of
Mm.
things. And using my cane around strangers has broken that for me, and
Mm.
I am so thankful that I started using my cane. I had a really persistent mobility instructor who was like, just use it, and I was like, okay. He was very blunt with me, and he and I still talk to him to this day. I'm like, hey, you remember that one time you made me cross the street with a blindfold and a cane and I froze? He's like, yeah. I was like, I now do that to teach people and it's funny. And he's like, I know. Why do you think I made you do it? And I was like, oh.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, but I like that you pointed out this social part of it
Yeah.
though, because when I say ableism, like a deeply rooted ableism, I mean, I think part of what that is recognizing that people might see you differently.
Yes.
And that is not small. I
No.
mean, that is something, I mean, we can control, maybe if we're lucky, we can control how we see ourselves.
Yes.
But that's real.
Mhm.
And like it makes sense that there would be
It's
that
terrifying.
yeah, that people will see you differently and maybe not in a way that you want. And
Mhm.
that's hard.
Yeah, because it's almost like you have to prove yourself.
Oh yes. Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's another what you've just said is another,
I know.
another one of the doozies because it reminds me of the burden bucket, like, feeling like a burden,
Yep.
feeling like you have to prove yourself.
Yep.
These are, like, pillars of my, growing up
Yeah, it's
self.
every day I find myself like, no, I'm capable of this. Thank you. Like, I
Yeah.
don't need to prove it to you though. And that's where I'm at in my acceptance of my disability. But
Mm,
there's always going to be a level of it.
mm. You know what's interesting about the always having to prove yourself piece of it too is that sometimes I think because I am so used to being perceived as helpless,
Mm-hmm.
it puts me in this position of needing to insist that I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
which can make it complicated when I really do need help.
Yes, exactly.
Um, and so trying to practice the balance of that, and not constantly moving through the world having to prove
Yeah.
how little I need any of you,
Yes.
every day. Like that's a tricky thing to. That's another both and thing.
Yeah. Balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see my gray hairs? Yeah, that's because all of this, all of this conversation. It, it it makes you grow up a lot faster, I think, in a way, or
Yeah.
it can. I wouldn't say that it does for everybody because everybody's at a different level of understanding their own disability and acceptance. But it definitely helped me grow up, see the bigger picture. Um, it gave me a voice, weirdly enough, because I was quiet and I was introverted. I'm still introverted, but I can be extroverted when I need to be, like on a podcast.
Like the entirety of my time with you.
Yeah, 100%. But like the vibe, like I feel okay being how I want to be and just being normal. Like this is my normal, and I really appreciate that I'm able to feel comfortable enough to do that with you in this conversation.
Likewise, that's mutual.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm an introvert at heart, 100%. I'm like whenever the marketing team is like, "Hey, you want to do another podcast?" I'm like, "No," and then I'm like, "Okay, yes."
A reluctant
Mhm.
extrovert, uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I relate to that a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like with my disability, I've had to be more extroverted about what I need help with and when I need help and all the things.
Yeah,
So,
I relate.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. There's so much.
Did we cover all the questions
I
we wanted
don't
to
even
get to?
know.
And
I
then
think
some?
so. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Well, okay. I'll do this then. This seems like a good time to wrap up, even though I wish this conversation could last all day.
Well, I think we'll find a way to do that.
100%. And you're always welcome. And if there's any updates, you just let us know and we'll have you back on.
Yay.
What's a good way for people to reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, my website is the hub for all of the places that I am. So, my website is just my name, RebekahTaussig.com.
Okay.
And when folks go there, they'll see a prompt to sign up for my newsletter, which is just my Substack.
Okay.
So, I try to post an essay there a month.
Hmm.
Um, I am sporadically on Instagram, here and there, not terribly reliably, but when there's something cool to share or I get an itch, I'll be there.
Okay.
Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I mean, Sitting Pretty is available all around.
Yes.
And then I also have a picture book that came out last year called We Are the Scrappy Ones
I love
that
it.
I wrote to. I started as a poem that I wrote to a bunch of disabled kids that I hung out with.
Mhm.
Um, so that book is around.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We will be sharing all your information. And if people reach out, I'll just be like, here you go. Talk to her.
Perfect.
She's the expert. And it'll be good.
Expert. Let's use that word loosely.
Yes. Okay. So for everyone else watching, though, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, what a tongue twister. But please do because we have so much fun doing these podcasts, even though we're introverts and stuff. But I love it. I love what comes up in our conversations. And we are so excited to be able to share this with our community. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we will see you on our next episode.
Thank you. This was
Thank
fun.
you. Hi, everyone. My name is Haley Korf. I am the vision impaired host for the whole podcast. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be most helpful. We would love it. We just want to get our information out to the community so we can provide support to anyone who needs it. If you want to take a look at our calendar, we do have that on our website. That will show all the peer support groups that we offer. You are more than welcome to give us a call too. We would be more than happy to answer any questions, but it is all listed on the calendar. Take a look at it, enjoy our new website, and thank you so much for tuning in.